Right now is the best time to start your career as an energy consultant or pivot to energy consulting. In 2023, more and more jurisdictions are requiring buildings to benchmark their energy consumption, and more companies are incorporating ESG into their corporate strategy. The job is expected to grow by 14% through 2028, according to the Occupational Outlook Handbook, and that's higher than average for other careers. We all know that renewable energy is starting to take up a bigger portion of the market. So now is the best time to get in early and establish yourself as an expert before it becomes even bigger in upcoming years. And this sector has a larger influence on climate change since greenhouse gas emissions released from the energy sector make up 35% of global greenhouse gas emissions, and that's according to the 2014 IPCC report. So, how do you get there? How do you become an energy consultant? And how do you be a good one? Today, we are going to lay out the framework, or the step-by-step roadmap to becoming an energy consultant. First, we'll cover what an energy consultant does and what the industry is looking like right now, so outlook and major players. This is to help you get an idea of whether energy consulting is the right path for your career to take. Then we'll talk about 4 qualifications that will set you up for success, including the education that you'd want to have, any certifications that are useful, the experience and what different levels of experience can get you in the field, and then finally the skills that would be necessary to complete the actual job. So let's get into it. An energy consultant can work individually as a freelance contractor or with a larger consulting firm, and they work with clients to help them reduce their energy consumption for their company. They can work on a range of projects, from small tasks like tracking the monthly consumption over time for a singular building, to global projects like helping an international company track emissions throughout the supply chain. In terms of the day-to-day, your job functions can vary pretty significantly depending on the nature of your project, who your clients are, what your own expertise is, and general things like that. A bunch of different factors can change what you're doing every day. Many consultants are office-based or work in the field or do a combination of each work type. However, most roles do involve conducting energy audits, but we'll get into that later. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, the field of energy consulting and sustainability as a whole is growing insurmountably in this decade. Countless organizations have made commitments to be net zero by 2030 or 2050, and so the need for energy efficiency experts and experts in electrification, they're not going anywhere. So if this field sounds good to you, then let's get into the roadmap, or the step-by-steps to becoming an energy consultant. Let's start with step 1, which is getting an education. The degrees that you possess as an energy consultant can actually take many forms. Some employers can accept applicants that have a high school diploma or a GED paired with some certifications, which we'll get to in a moment. Other employers might require an associate's degree or even a bachelor's degree, and some of the higher level consulting firms might require a master's degree as well, especially if you are applying for a management position. It really boils down to who your employer is and what the nature of your work will be. To set you up for success, however, it might be a good idea to go for that bachelor's degree in energy efficiency or environmental science so that you have that nice background. In terms of majors, if you are pursuing that bachelor's degree, consulting firms generally accept a variety of majors. Many colleges still don't have energy programs or energy efficiency classes, so a degree in environmental science or business or finance might suffice. That is all to say that the actual level of education that you possess isn't a huge factor in terms of actually landing the job in energy consulting. However, it is still something you'll want to consider when applying. Now that brings us to step 2, which is taking an exam and earning a certification in something. Now, I touched on this a little bit before, but many employers will look for a level of education paired with a certain certificate that you possess. In the US at least, the professional certifications that are more popular are to be a LEED accredited professional, a certified energy manager, or a certified energy auditor. Having these certifications really show that you are an expert in building operations and in figuring out ways to make buildings more energy efficient. Many of these certifications require you to know how to do an energy audit, and that tends to be a bigger portion of these jobs. So let's get into what an energy audit actually is. An energy audit is an assessment of a building's current and historical energy use. They can look at electricity and natural gas usage over time, and the purpose is really to assess what areas of the building can have improved energy efficiency. But what is energy efficiency to begin with? It is really just using less energy to do the same job. Energy audits can vary pretty widely in the level of detail that they cover, and it really depends on budget and who your employer is and the nature of the building that you're auditing as to what level of detail you'll be assessing the energy efficiency. The audit will typically consist of a walkthrough where you are going around and manually looking at different components of the building, and then you'll also probably be looking at the monthly usage of electricity bills or natural gas bills. Energy audits are a really crucial component of increasing a building or company's energy use and therefore what their emissions output is. So energy consultants use these energy audits quite often to help their clients save energy and money in the long run. So back to our roadmap. That was a little bit on certifications. Our next step is the experience that you would want to have to get a job in energy consulting. In addition to a formal education and a certification or two, many consulting firms also require you to have a few years of experience under your belt. Now, this doesn't mean you have to be working at another energy consulting firm to get that job, but it could mean a few different things. You could gain this experience through other entry-level work, even if it was with a different topic area. It could be gained through internships that you did during school or any other freelance type position, especially if you are working individually. This experience is pretty crucial, and the reason why a lot of companies do recommend having that experience is because it's a place for you to apply what you have learned in your formal education and your certifications to apply it to the real world and an actual job setting. Just a quick note on energy consultants who work for themselves or work independently. Most of them do have 10 years of experience already under their belt working with a larger consulting firm, just to get to know what the industry standards are and get to know the workflow that is required. So it's just something to keep in mind. I don't think it's typical for someone to go straight into independently consulting. The key really is to get that experience early on, especially if you're still in college, so that you can get your foot in the door early and continue to grow that experience and your skill set over time. And with that, that brings us to the fourth step in our roadmap, which is the useful skills that it is good for an energy consultant to have. Finally, it is important to make sure that you have all or at least most of these skills before entering the energy consulting field. You'll likely have some of these skills already from what we've touched on in steps 1 through 3 throughout your education, getting those certifications, and with your experience that you get before even starting energy consulting. And once you start on the job, you will grow them over time and acquire new ones. I know we have said that a lot of what the job function is depends on who your employer is and who your clients are. However, there are some skills that are universal across the energy consulting world that it is really important to hone in on and focus your efforts towards building those skills. With this set of tools, you really will have a choice of your specialties and the roles that you get. As an energy consultant, you will want to have written and verbal communication skills, critical thinking skills, general environmental and energy knowledge, skills in data analysis and visualization, and then finally, project management skills. You will likely grow this last one on the job as you take on more responsibilities and maybe even start to manage other people and projects, but the others you can start to grow when you're in your education or when you're in those other experience components. If you find that you want to grow one of these areas a little bit more before applying to a job in energy consulting, LinkedIn Learning has courses on all of these skill sets that you can take to make yourself even stronger in these areas. So there you have it, the framework to becoming an energy consultant. Take it from me, I've been an energy consultant for a year and a half now, and it is very much worth each and every one of these 4 steps. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!